Welcome to Mediaspace Members Daily. We bring you exclusive interviews from our leadership group and other professional influencers within the media, marketing, gov tech community globally. Today I have with me Kinga Ince, founder and CEO of White Report Global Limited, the company that operated Mediaspace.global, the new social media platform for professionals in media, marketing, tech, law, policymaking and regulation. Hi Kinga, how are you?
Hi Lavina, I'm good, thank you.
What are the key revenue challenges in the media space?
Analyzing financial trends in the media space, we have a very holistic view, including traditional content providers as well as online platforms in our analysis. Because when it comes to news or news consumption or entertainment, consumers don't really care what they consume if they have a good offer for them. What our analyst team did was that we compared the Premier League of media and online platforms, meaning the publicly traded companies. And what we found was that both segments were hit strongly in Q2 by COVID, but the impact of COVID was pretty uneven, meaning that while the very strong revenue increasing trend was just a little bit dropped in an aggregated way in the platform segment, the traditional media has significantly crashed by having more than 20% decrease in their aggregated revenues of several companies in Q2 2020.
What opportunities does this new market reality bring in the media space based on the first 6 months?
Speaking of the impact of COVID, this is not only economic, because the social distancing has several impacts on the everyday life and communication. And one of the impacts in terms of the media space is that all the offline elements of the media value chain became disrupted, which means that in terms of the opportunities, if someone wants to have a future-proof solution, then it's not only about recovering the previous solutions and revenues and value chain operation, but obviously that needs a completely new thinking about digitization of the whole value chain, even if we speak about the offline media at the end as a product that we get into our hands. So that's one of the issues. The other one is that because of this digital nature, the impact is pretty uneven, because those who are less digital, and obviously the digital natives are the winners of this already, it means that they have to have a very strong thinking about how to reform previous company operation, consumer habits, and so on, in order to have the same connection with consumers and business with consumers that they had so far. So this uneven impact makes the gap even bigger between the traditional segments and the online platforms or digital players in general. All of this means that recovery isn't only about like after a normal economic crisis, but it's an inevitable transformation to a fully digital media life.
What are the most urgent actions to be taken?
Considering the low level of digitization, because we have to admit that there is lots of rooms for improvement, and it's not only true for media companies, but also companies in general. There is a huge growth potential in the digital space in terms of business opportunities, social and obviously political opportunities as well. However, in order to move into a fair competition and better ecosystem, regulators should understand that it's very important to consider this as a whole universe and as one ecosystem, including traditional media players and online platforms, and to apply universal rules for this cross-media ecosystem, vice versa, because these segments are dependent on each other. On the other hand, time is very important because a quick reaction is very, very much required in order to support those who are most hit by the COVID pandemic, and to close this growing gap of competitive differences between the digital natives and the more traditional, less digital companies. And last but not least, I think it's very important to emphasize that this crisis is not to just recover from in terms of economic indicators, but there is a need for a huge digital transformation in order to stay relevant in long term. Speaking of traditional content providers or any other entities in news, entertainment, or education.
Thank you, Kinga, for joining us today. It was insightful to hear from you. Stay tuned for the next episode of Mediaspace Members Daily. In the meantime, connect with us at Mediaspace.global.